Hi. We wanted to create some masters in the fleet management. So we are starting from the masters as a station setup. A station setup is basically the name of the source and destination address. We can just name it using we can say um, DSM, DSM. We can update it. If it is exist, it is going to be updated. And if it is a like if it is a new, so I'm just writing Gigoma and we add it. So it will be added into the list. So this is how we are going to create a station. Another master is a certificate setup. To create a certificate, we are just going to create just see the last entry number, and we are creating number 5. Let's say toll tax and vehicle toll tax. And we have to have a debit account, which debit account is gonna it is going to hit as expenses. So we are selecting that. And what will be the credit account? So credit account is there. And what will be the tax code for the input tax? So maybe if I'm putting like a tax code like this, we can add. So we have added those certificates. Another master is a expense code setup. Basically, expense code setup is those expenses which is going to incur into uh, vehicle trips or the maintenance, any expenses which is going to incur. That is how we are going to create a expense code. And the same way how we have created for the certificates, the same we are going to create for the expenses. And this is the debit account. Again, we have selected the debit account and we have selected the credit account. And again, what will be the input tax? And we can just update in case of exist, or we can create a new one. Another is a route type setup. We can create the route type for the, like we can name it whatever route it is, like a local, transit, international, maybe a different abbreviation. You can put it inside, and you can create the same way code and name, and then update the or add the value. This is how the route type setup will be done. Another is a route setup. Route setup is, as we have defined earlier, the station. So what was the from station? What is the to a station? How many kilometers in total when it is going from to this destination? What will be the freight charges? Like, let's say whatever the freight charges we wanted to put as a default way. How many days, free days, if the container type we are selecting, so how many free days it is applicable. So let's say I'm putting something. What was the route type, the masters which we have created earlier? What is the revenue account? Means like the sales account where it's earning, it is going to hit into the account when we are invoicing it. So let's say I'm just selecting from the chart of accounts, miscellaneous revenue. Fuel required. Let's say we are putting 200 liters. And this is the expense code which we have created earlier in the masters, that what was the expenses and how much default it is gonna required, and what currency of this expenses is gonna incur. So this is how we are going to set up. A route code we have just defined manually. You can see the list of route code. So let's say 49 is there. So we can define 50 in case of new things. And here is the fuel budget. In case we wanted to have elaborate in this route, what are the location the vehicle supposed to fill the fuel. So that's how we are going to do. So this is, we can just update it. So this is how we are gonna create the route setup. Right. This route setup is going to be utilized at the time of when we are creating a trip. So we are going to select the route, and by default, all these relevant expenses is going to appear in the transaction table. Okay. Thank you very much for this session.